bring us back.
Welcome back to the JV Sports Show. We're live out at IHOP. Come join us, 67th Avenue in Peoria here in Glendale. We're pleased now to be joined by Coach Lou Perrone. Coach, how are you this morning?
So, Coach, you are your mic was there you go.
There
you
we go.
On.
We're good.
Yep.
Good morning,
All
gentlemen.
right, there he is. So, Coach, you wear a couple of hats. Now, obviously, you coach with the Maricopa Mustangs, the Holcomb Junior College Athletic Conference. You've coached forever. You've coached high school ball for many years. You also do some things privately in giving some young people opportunities. Give us an update on what you're up to.
Yeah, we have a fantastic platform here in the Valley, working with a lot of the kids, working with their recruiting. A lot of the coaches in the Valley, they have a lot on their plate. Head coaches running the programs nowadays with football getting as big as it is in Arizona. So they're trying to concentrate a lot on their logistics and wins and losses. So I provide another opportunity to them to assist them with getting their kids recognition, because the more kids we get to the next level, the better their program looks. And I've got some great high school coaches I work with. I mean, you're good friends with Coach Ragsdale out at Camp Verde. He was one of the first ones that reached out to me. We sat down, had lunch, and he said, listen, I'm all in. And I have several offers for several kids on that team. Unfortunately, it was a tough loss for them last night.
Yeah, it was.
But they played good. They played hard. Their middle linebacker, Jaden Fletcher, and I went to University of Arizona for the Washington game, and we're on the sidelines. And there's a lot of big things happening, and it all starts academically. I mean, one of the young men that I have with me today at IHOP, Chase Folkestad, he's the defensive end at Sandra Day O'Connor. He's upwards right now of maybe 19, 20 offers right now, but a lot of it is because of the quality of young man that he is, too. He's a 4.0 student, 1,330 on the SAT, and he – I've seen him interact with college coaches, and a lot of coaches, a lot of parents nowadays are like, why is my son not getting it? It's the total package that we sell. It's not just going on the field and I got tons of kids across this country that have 2,000 yards rushing that have 0 offers.
Yeah.
And what I try to stress to the parents is quality of education, right fit. Let's just work on seeing what we can do. It's not the next 4 years that we're trying to plan for. It's the next 40 years. So we want to put them in the best situation possible for them to succeed.
Coach, get a little specific with that, if you will. Let's face it, we're talking about attitude, how a kid carries himself. It's not just a stat sheet. It's not just the game film. It's respect. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Talk a little bit about that, how that plays into it.
Just to use Chase as a perfect example, I mean, here's a young man that he came in with me, pretty much been a year I've been working with the family, and it started out, of course, there's no offers, and we started going to camps, and he held himself to a higher standard. His academics, like I said, are flawless, and every time I spoke to a coach after that camp or spoke to a coach, said, God, he's a little undersized for his position. I mean, he's 6'1", 10 under 6'1", about 220 right now, I think. His strength numbers are incredible. He benches 225 over, I think, 20 times. So he's got a lot of.
It's a little less than me.
He's got
that's a whole lot more than me. I'll tell you that.
The thing is, if you lack in certain areas, where if this kid was, if Chase was 6'3", we would have already been committed. We would have been to Oklahoma.
Right.
We would have been to U of A.
That's the way it is.
It would have been easy.
You're right.
But unfortunately, we don't make the rules. But what I try to do is I try to teach these families, let's play by them. So let's take what we have. We have a great quality kid. We have a superb excellence in education that he presents, and every time he would meet a coach, he would call me and say, listen, he's undersized, but he's an amazing kid. We're going to offer him. And now he's upwards of 20 offers, and that's one of the reasons why he's in the position he is. And when I sit down in the living room and I talk to a lot of these kids, and I don't want to point him out specifically, but I use him as an example, because this is a young man who nobody knew about. I mean, he had some good film as a junior, but he's exploded onto the scene where every coach I speak to is like, Chase. So, and recruiting is starting a lot earlier now. Another young man I have, Brendan Anderson, he's the quarterback over at the Mountain Ridge team. He's thrown for over 1,700 yards and 24 touchdowns. Great young man. He's working that platform now where he's holding himself to a higher standard. He's a great team leader. He's got that team, one of the best freshman teams they've ever had. They're 6-1. And he's doing a lot of great stuff right now.
So I actually would like to ask Chase one or two questions here. So Chase, first of all, it's an honor to meet you because you nearly took my arm off a minute ago when you shook my hand. So you're a senior right now at Sandra Day O'Connor, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and tell us a little bit about how you're doing this season, what position you play, some stats. Give us some background.
So this season so far has been pretty well. We've been having some tough losses coming up here, but last night took a 47-0 win against Tucson. So
nice.
That went well.
Okay.
But we've been losing some really close games by about 3 to 4 points.
Okay.
There's some really good teams. So.
Yeah. Well, obviously it is a team sport, but how are you doing individually on the field?
Personally, I think I'm having a great season. I've been at about 6 or 7 sacks so far, and then a bunch of TFLs, forced fumbles, and a blocked field goal in the last game. So.
Talk about some of your coaches that have influenced you and that are working with you there over at Sandra Day O'Connor.
Two of my favorite coaches out there is going to be Coach Kitten and Coach Casey. Coach Kitten is my defensive line coach. He's taught me a lot this season. And then Coach Casey's been really rallying our team, keeping our heads up through these tough losses, and then hoping to finish out the season strong. So
you're getting a little bit of attention out there. That's a few offers. That's pretty outstanding. 20 offers and probably a bunch more coming. How does that feel? I mean, do you feel like you're kind of in the eye of a tornado with this thing? I mean, how are you staying grounded?
It just feels like solid right now. Kind of feel solidly built on this. Like I have a safe place where I can go. It's like not going to be struggling for finding a school I need to go to at this point. So.
Talk about how much it has to be a fit for you. Like obviously you have quite a few offers and you have to, you got a lot of stuff to weed through and find out, where's the best place for me? Because ultimately it has to be about you. You've got to go to class there. You've got to go to practice there. You've got to live there essentially. Talk about how it has to be a right fit.
Honestly, it's got to be just the kids that are playing there. I got to make sure it's like a family-built team around. I want to go somewhere where I feel comfortable around the players and the coaches. So
you got visits lined up?
Not exactly yet, but
not yet.
Hopefully
they're coming.
In November.
They're coming, and I'm sure you've had some unofficials so that you can kind of kick the tires on a few schools and get a feel for them. So hopefully that's allowed you to either increase your interest or to kind of say, you know what, no, that place isn't for me. So have you had some of that as well?
Yeah, I've been to a couple places so far as unofficial visits.
Okay, good.
All been great places. So
good. If some school in the frozen tundra were to make an offer, would you go, or do you want to stay closer to home?
I love the cold. I'm a huge fan of snowboarding. So yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Good answer. All right, good answer. But you love the desert as well.
Yes,
You'll
sir.
go anywhere. Okay. Your family, how do they feel about this? I mean, what's the support been like at home?
They never thought I'd have a chance of playing college ball, so they're very
wow, that's
excited
encouraging.
About
Okay. Thanks, Mom. No. I'm sure they've been very supportive, but they want to keep you grounded as well. Correct?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
They don't want you don't want them to be trying to blow up your head and on illusions of grandeur when maybe you're not a fit for this level. But so they've been kind of keeping things down, keeping things grounded.
Yep. Exactly.
If you got some of your boys listening right now to the show, what would you say to them to kind of help them carry them through the end of this season and try to, like you said, finish on a positive note and finish this season strong?
We played some of the best teams and held them to really close games. And I think we have a really good shot at these last two, and maybe a chance at playoffs if we finish out 4-6 here against Liberty and Ridge. So,
okay.
I think honestly, just stay strong. Push through, and we're gonna have a good shot at playoffs here.
Who do you play next week?
We have Liberty next week at home senior night. So.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. That's going to be a tough matchup. It'll be a tough one, and then you close the season at. Again?
Yep, at Mountain Ridge.
Mountain Ridge, Glen Hill Mountain Ridge. Okay. All right. Well, Chase, thank you so much for joining us. Coach, if you've got another minute, we'd like to kind of pick your brain a little bit. So tonight you guys, the Maricopa Mustangs, you play at the Papago Pumas. What are you seeing on film? We're going to have Coach Sowers on a little later, but what have you seen?
I'll tell you, they're a very well-coached team. We were very confident going into that last game. I've worked with Coach Sowers a lot personally. I know a couple things you're going to get there. You're going to get a sound, as you know, offensive line. I mean, they're going to come at you in the trenches both ways. We've sustained some injuries. We had a tough one last week against Coach O'Meara down in Tucson, but we managed to pull that out late. So we're expecting it's going to be a hard-fought game. There's going to be 4 quarters played this afternoon out in Mesa, that's for sure.
Hopefully we get a lot of people out to the game this afternoon. 1 o'clock kickoff this afternoon. The weather's cooled down. It's going to be in the 80s, I believe, today. What would you say to people that haven't been out to a Hohokam Junior College Athletic Football Conference game yet?
Definitely get out there today to Mesa High School. It's a great atmosphere. With what Doug Madowski and Stephen Weiss, the executive director of the HJCAC, have done, and with the help of the JV Sports Show as far as really putting us on a platform.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I got you guys.
You're hired, Coach.
I mean, it's really starting to take a real good vibe across the valley, and we're starting to get interest. I mean, Chase, as we sit here and we talk about him, he's a potential D1 athlete. He's a young man that the family and I have sat down and said, maybe playing a year in the HJCAC to show that level of ability against a higher level will bring in those Power 5 D1 offers, because I think he's a young man that can play linebacker at a Power 5 level. He's fast enough. He's obviously strong enough. He's smart enough. So we have to overcome a lot. His teammate, Logan Clef-Ambersy, that's here, his right tackle that plays on the team.
The 7'8" kid
he's
out there.
He's 6'8", 295.
6'8", okay.
We've always tried to we tried to steal a few inches and give him to Chase, but it didn't work out that way. But we unfortunately at that level, size is a big thing, and we're just we're using that HJCAC platform to not only give a better opportunity to some of the academically challenged kids, but to showcase some of the higher academic kids that maybe didn't get the right attention, and we want to, feed them into that next level, to the highest spot possible.
Sure. Well, let's face it, Coach. If a guy can play ball, he can play ball.
Oh, yeah, you know it.
Have you heard of Zach Thomas? Yeah. Well, there you go. Enough said, right?
Yeah.
If you got the heart and you got the will and you want to play, there's a place for you to play, and there's plenty of places for you to play because you've got the ability and you got the grades, and that's really where it's at right there. So thanks again to Coach Lou Perrone for joining us here this morning. We appreciate you.
Thank you, gentlemen,
Coach.
both of you. I'll see you this afternoon.
Yes, I can't wait. I'm excited. We're going to be out at Mesa High School calling the Papago Pumas, hosting the Maricopa Mustangs. Be a lot of fun, 1 p.m. And coming up, we have Coach Ron Sowers from the Papago Pumas to join us for the HJCAC report. And come right back with us here on the JV Sports Show.
Yeah, we're live at IHOP 67th Avenue in Peoria. Stay tuned.